Hi, I'm Michele Shuster, and as promised, I'm giving you an update from the NAG, which is National Association of Attorneys General, Robocall Summit. The summit took place last week in the middle of July 2022, and there was a very large group of regulators there, a room full of them, which represented attorneys general's offices, the FTC, the FCC, private platforms that are assisting with robocall mitigation, and a number of consumer groups as well. The one thing that was certain from the Robocall Summit was that they are very united in stopping what they always refer to as robocalls. And we're not just talking about illegal robocalls, we're talking about unwanted robocalls as well. The definition of robocall is not clear depending upon which agency you're with, but for purposes of this call, we're talking about any automated or pre-recorded calls. So what was the message? I think one sentence summed it up very well that was spoken by one of the attorneys generals that were there. They put it at a magnitude that I had never heard before. Basically, the comment was that United States citizens are overstimulated, and the phone calls that are being received by citizens in which their attention is being demanded is destabilizing their mental health. So they're actually equating robocalls to mental health issues in the United States. So that just lets you know how serious they are and how they're true believers in trying to more heavily regulate and enforce within the teleservices and performance marketing industries. So what does this mean for you? What this means for you is if you are engaged in lead generation, selling leads, buying leads, making phone calls, accepting transfers of phone calls, then you really need to know what you're doing. You need to know what the law is, and you need to have a defendable position to show that you are complying with that law. Now, what does that mean, a defendable position? It means that you have policies and procedures in place that are designed to meet your compliance requirements. You're training your employees on those requirements, and then you're auditing against them to make sure that all of the compliance requirements are being met. I cannot overstate the importance of this. It's also a safe harbor in the federal and state laws and regulations if you do those three things I've just mentioned. Also, if you receive a complaint from a federal agency, one of the state AGs, maybe the Better Business Bureau, you should really look at it as a golden ticket, because if you're receiving a complaint from a consumer who has taken the time to document that complaint, then it means you probably have an issue within your organization that you need to take a look at. See if there are some gaps in your policies and procedures that have led to consumer complaints. I can tell you from the conversations that I had with the regulators while at the Robocall Summit that most of their investigations are being driven by complaints that they receive from consumers. A recent example of that is the state of Ohio, in cooperation with the FCC and the state of Michigan as well, initiated a lawsuit against 22 defendants. And of those 22, 8 were individuals. The other 14 were companies, but 8 people were being sued in their individual capacity. The exposure for the multiple millions of calls that are being alleged is huge. So if you get a complaint, you need to find out what the issue is within the organization that led to that. Next is if you do receive a subpoena, or God forbid, you receive a complaint or a regulatory enforcement action notification, you need to hire an expert immediately. Find somebody who knows the industry, knows it very well, and someone who has a lot of experience in working on consumer protection defense issues. I hope you find this information helpful. We'll continue to post with various developments as we see where the regulators are taking us. Have a great day.